Howdy, fellas. It's gonna be me, myself, and I tonight because dad is in Europe trying to upright the leaning power pizza. So, good luck with that. Europe ain't never gonna be the same. Eat more possums already here, East Coast, Buck Casey, Yellow Rose, and Lee McCready. We got two Lees already. Two Lee and no right. That didn't come out right either. All right, and drone delirium. What do you know? So I'm guessing let's dive right in with probably the best news we've gotten during my absence. And as you recall, there was this NDAA thing that had this nasty Countering CCP Drones Act included in it. Well, it ain't in the NDAA no more. Let me share my screen here because all right, this is the House version of the NDAA, and there is DJI mentioned in here twice. This is putting them on the title list almost set, the ban. And if you go to the new, where's the thing? There it is. When you go onto the Senate version of it and you do a search, come on, do a search for DJI, you get 0 results because all that language, Countering CCP's Act and dissecting DJI drones, all that stuff has been removed out of the Senate version. So, does it mean that Countering CCP Act is never going to come? No, it will come. They're just going to have to find a different way to punch it through. But yeah, thank God for small favors. At least for now, it seems to be off the table. So we'll call that good news, a good start for our new stream here. So as you all know, I've been out on vacation. Enjoyed some time off. Went to Florida and then toured New Orleans for a bit. And Mr. Dad sent me this little thing here this morning. Let's rewind this. Come on. And here we go.
Instant selfie in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. All right.
I told him he needed to straighten things out over there. Yeah, it was hot when I was in Florida, that's for sure. We were up in the Destin area, Destin, Panama City Beach. Had a good time. Stayed there for a couple of days and then went back and spent a couple of nights in New Orleans and then come on back here. So it was a nice little trip. So, and then we have a new rumor about a new product from DJI, the Action 5 Pro, whatever the Pro stands for. We don't know that yet. Yeah, that was the Leaning Tower piece. Yes. Like I said, Dad's over there trying to straighten things out. If we hear that thing caved in, let's not think anything of it. What the heck's going on? Let's focus here. Let's try this again. Come on. So anyway, yeah. DJI Action 5 Pro apparently still has a 101.3 inch sensor and a focal 2.8 f2.8, and not much else is known about that thing at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a 5.3K camera. Everybody was expecting a 1-inch sensor, but as somebody from GoPro once said, the 1-inch sensor are real hard to get the focus up close, and that's where most of the focus needs to be, on the up close on action cameras, apparently. So DJI managed it with was the 1-inch sensor on the Pocket 3. But I think they have more real estate in that housing for getting a lens in there to make that work. Now, I did take this thing, the Action 2, with me on vacation, and I had zero problems with this thing. I've actually wore it around my neck walking through New Orleans, and it was pretty freaking hot. But this thing recorded for 20 minutes before it shut down because it was out of storage space and not because it overheated. So I've got the magnetic housing on here, and I've got it on the high setting on the overheat. And this thing did not overheat, even though, you know, we were walking through town. That thing was basically hanging off my chest. I don't think it got much of a breeze there. I got 18 and a half minute video out of it. And I looked down, and no, it wasn't storage. It was the onboard battery that was running low. The onboard battery, and that's recording at 4K 60. Okay. So at 4K 60, I got about 20-minute recording time because of the battery limitations, not because of storage. This is actually the 128. So 128 gig storage on this internal. So I just, take it off, recharge it on the base, transfer the files over to the SD card on the base, and I keep going. So with the magnetic case and the seat, the setting for the overheat on high, I had no problems with this thing overheating. So I'm glad I bought this thing again. As you all know, I was eyeing the Go 3S, and if it wouldn't been for the fact that I had so many accessories for this thing, meaning mounts already printed up for it to put on FPV. I have this little base thing that you can plug USB-C into and charge it on the go. And I've got a protective housing. If I put this base on a quad, then I can actually plug it into the balance port and balance plug on the battery and keep it charged, and I don't even have to worry about it running out of battery juice. And yes, please do hit that thumbs up. I much appreciate it. I would very much appreciate it. And then I guess we need to talk about CADX, because CADX has come out with a new pair of goggles. Now, mind you, I don't have those goggles. All I'm getting is basically what I've seen from assorted, what they call them, KOLs, key online reviewers, whatever you want to call them, the fanboys. So let me add this to the screen. So we got the HD goggles L, price point $199, which is very, very attractive. Even though the money on HD is not on the goggles, it's with the air units. And I mean, the VTXs are where it gets expensive, because you have one for each of your quads, or figure out a way to swap them between one to the other. But they actually have a head tracking function in these goggles, and it works with that new gimbal. And there's no wiring other than a wiring harness coming off of the VTX to the base of the gimbal to control the gimbal. So there's no big need for several UARTs, as I first suspected. Now, you can run the gimbal on UARTs, but you don't need to. So it's they put the head tracking into the signal. You all know the VTX and the goggles talk to each other back and forth. So the head tracking data gets sent from the goggles to the VTX, and from the VTX it goes to the gimbal, and the gimbal acts accordingly. And it has a 9-axis gyro in these goggles. Is that they call it 9-axis? Now, those that already have the goggles X, my understanding is that CADX is going to send out a new board for the goggles X to current goggle X owners to upgrade the gyro and to make the whole head tracking thing work. So, but yeah, the new goggles work with all the VTXs that are on the market. I'll hit the waterproof spray here in a minute. Anyway, it's quite interesting. Yeah, 9-axis gyroscope. So the 9-axis gyro will be the goggles X currently have a 6-axis gyro. The new board for the goggles X is going to have that 9-axis gyro on it. So I don't know what the timetable is for the new board for the Goggles X, but I understand the board will be provided for free to original purchasers of the Goggles X. So apparently you got to send them proof of purchase. Excuse me. Pardon me. So anyhow, that is the latest from CADX. They actually released a little bit of a video on YouTube that shows the entire setup, or what you need to do to hook up the gimbal one, GM1, GM2, GM3. All three of them work right similar. They've already released where you can buy the gimbal with a transmitter already on it. Where did they put those? Okay. So here's the gimbal 3 without anything. Here's just with the Pro camera. And here's with the Pro kit. You can also make it work with the 4K, the Moonlight VTX, just like it's shown in this picture right here. So it's quite interesting to see that they put that signal for the head tracking into the video signal. Akira, so howdy, fella. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out. Hopefully it's not a half-baked product. Unfortunately, we've become beta testers for so many things, not just CADX. There's a number of other manufacturers too that have been putting us to work. So, and let me come back to East Coast. So East Coast, your patient is sitting right there, and that's as far as I got with it. I haven't fiddled with it yet. I need to sit down with it and spend some time on it and see what's what with that thing. So hopefully it can be fixed. I'm sure it can be fixed. All depends on how much money you want to sink into it, though. Anyway, and then James already brought up the spray that Flywoo released to waterproof. And I don't know that we can call this waterproofing. Matchtech played with it a little bit on a stream the other day, and it basically coats your flight controller with something similar to Rain-X type stuff, where the water just beats up and rolls off, but it comes off real easy too. You rub on it with your fingers or with a Q-tip, and it's gone. So it does not make the conformal coating where you completely cover the FC and you can completely submerge that thing. Yeah, this is more like, I would call this a water repellent and not a waterproofing system. Now that I brought it up, what will I be on? Uh, No, it's not WD-40, but it's basically, yeah, Dusty's quite well, we'll have to spend some time on that. Yeah, it arrived yesterday. I just hadn't had a chance to do anything with. I'm in that vacation hangover stage right now. Where you come back to work and now you regret you took a week off because all of last week's work is coming to bite you in the butt this week. So, what do I think of the Walksnail 2-watt kit? Well, I think it's great. I do believe it is. It was the next step, so to speak. I mean, only a matter of time for somebody to come out. I mean, analog on analog transmitters, we're seeing some of them have 5-watt. I recently saw one that was 10-watt. So here's the Avatar GT kit. It has a cooling fan integrated on top of the VTX to keep that thing cool. And it's definitely for long range. Now, when they say compatible with Moonlight camera, yeah, you can stick the Moonlight camera on there. Is this going to record in 4K? No, it will not. They've done the same thing on another product they released, and they said, yeah, Moonlight camera compatible. Yeah, you can take the Moonlight camera and stick it on any of the VTXs Walksnail has, Cadex has. That camera will work with any other VTXs, but it will not allow you to record 4K unless you're on a 4K VTX with the 4K recording board on it. Now, if they figure out, if they have this set up to where you can piggyback this onto the 4K recording board, then yes, then you will have a full 4K. But don't get fooled by this part just yet. But it puts out, and this is for long range, and this is more for planes, wings, planes, whatever. Like that guy right there, it would completely carry that load, no problem. And I mean, it's just a matter of putting enough battery in. So, but yeah, don't let them fool you with the even though I mean some of the lingo and marketing as of recently just has me and even in the news these days has me flabbergasted, to put it mildly. Um, what was the other headline I read? Something about somebody fatally killed someone. Okay. Isn't that like redundant? Fatally injured or killed? But fatally killed, I mean, opposed to non-fatally killed? Don't know how that works. That was, one of the kickers was this one too. Where was it? Right here. Walksnail Avatar GT kit now features improved resistance to GPS interference. It's not the GPS that's interfering with anything, it's the freaking VTX that's interfering with it. Lord Almighty. I mean, did the marketing people come up with the wildest claims? I don't even know how this one works. Improved resistance to GPS interference. That GPS unit is not sending. That GPS unit is a straight up receiving unit. The only thing that's interfering with the GPS is the sending part of your VTX. Now, if you think back of the very early VTX unit from Avatar, you could not use a GPS with it unless you put the GPS on the other end of the quad or other end of the plane, where it was far away as possible from the VTX antenna. If you want to see where all the parts are always out of stock, click the link. Okay. What link are we talking about? This one here, the YouTube? You've got me confused. James, if you have Care Refresh, don't worry about getting anything damp or wet. Just roll with it. I don't know why, but I went ahead and bought the Care Refresh with this because for, was it $19? They sent you a replacement. Let's see what you got here. Low budget tech that redefine Ukraine's flight. Okay. Well, the good old Molotov cocktail, it's still. Yeah, well. Anyway, so what else do we have? We had I don't know if that's going to be a buyer of the Action 5 or not. I imagine he could be. Let's see. I did a little gator wrestling while I was out and about too. So there's that. Where is that folder? If you haven't seen it on my social media, here we go. Gator wrestling. Poor gator didn't stand a chance. Yeah, I don't know that made me a Florida man there, Dusty, but that was definitely fun. Let's see. I can share some pictures from New Orleans even without getting in trouble. I still don't understand why New Orleans charges a door cover to get on the freaking cemetery, though. I try to get on that St. Louis cemetery, and the old security guard at the gate, like, nope, you got to go get a ticket, and it's with guides only. But if you're like me, a little taller than the average bear, that little wall they got around that thing ain't gonna stop me for long. So I just snapped some pictures, because I could. And I wish our resident mortician was here, aka Johnny Droneflyer. Uh, my understanding is the reason why they have these graves above ground is because most of New Orleans is below sea level, and trying to dig a grave in that is not really advisable. So, and what's the next storm? Grandma might just come floating down the road again, and nobody wants to see that. So, Tex Hard Strong Guy. Howdy, Mike. So, anyway, we got some. Got to see some interesting stuff. Or some pictures. So we were in the French Quarter, in case you couldn't tell. And there's no drone footage. I did take my Air 2S with me, but I never even pulled it out of the case. Florida was so darn windy. I didn't want to even risk it. Let's see, we were there Monday. We were on the beach. We could actually get in the water. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the beaches were all red flagged for riptides. And I've looked at the shores a bit, and I decided, yeah, I'm not going to mess with any of that. You could see where riptides were trying to form, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I love to be in the water, and also you probably don't know that, but I'm actually a certified dive master, rescue diver, master scuba diver, and dive master. So I grew up on the coast in Germany, and I know, kerns and rip currents and all that good stuff. I kind of grew up with that sort of stuff. And looking at that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. So if you do book a hotel in New Orleans, in the French Quarter, make sure parking is included, because they will stick it to you. I did get some decent pictures. There's another good one to share. Andrew Jackson Square. And yes, we did go to Cafe Du Monde and all that good stuff. Here it gets even better. Yeah, we got some. There's the money shot. There we go. These are all cell phone pictures. Yeah. Now, if that ain't a night pick, you can't see anyone anywhere in this picture. I don't know how the hell I made that, but oh no, there's one person there. Oh, well. Almost perfect. So, anywho's, yeah, that was, there's a couple pictures from my little road trip I took with the missus. She did good. She got us some good hotels. We had some good hotels. I mean, French Quarter, we walked our butts off. I think my health app showed at the end of the day, my health app went like, who are you and what did you do with Kai? Because you ain't moving that much ever. So yeah, we ended up walking almost 10 miles that day. But it was worth it. I want to go back for a couple of days and hit some of the museums and aquarium and all that stuff we didn't have time for in the 2 days we were there. And we got there on Thursday night. We went out and looked around a bit, and then We had all day Friday, and then Saturday morning we headed back out and back home, because I want at least Sunday to kind of recover from the driving and everything. 1,900 miles in 8 days. So, but it was fun. It was fun. Trying to think what else we had on the program. Got a new frame in. I'm pretty sure I showed y'all this one already, but this one now has 3.5-inch arms on it. And if you look right there, you can see how this thing has mounting for 2 different depth of cameras. And the front was the silicone part. That's for an 03 camera, and then in the back for the longer cameras. When DJI came out was the 03 camera. The distance from the front of the lens to the screws got reduced to 10 mil. Everybody else is running about 14 millimeters. So that's where now you get these new frames that have mounting for both, so your camera don't stick out 4 millimeters on the front, which is basically the problem with this Mario 5. See how the lens is sticking out there? And that's the shallowest camera I could find for the Avatar system, or CADX, Voxnail, whatever you want to call it. The Pro camera stuck out even further. That came out in 2 or 3 millimeters out there. So I don't necessarily like flying with that, because, if I let Kelly fly it, he'll ruin that camera. So I need to be careful. And not necessarily because I crash it, but, if I let Kelly fly my stuff. And Jim's in the house. Howdy, fella. So there's one frame, and then I got the Atlas 4 right here. I went ahead and ordered that too, because I saw the Atlas 4 has the same cage as okay. All right, where is it? Well, the V6. Here's the Atlas 4. So that frame I ordered, and that is actually what I'm going to put my walk snail into. And I finally decided I'm going to get a stack for it, and actually it's going to be a flywheel stack that I'm sticking on there. And I'll probably stick the 1804 motors on there. I don't know. It's either going to be 1604 or 1804 motors. I have both. But my all-in-one that I have, the Evo all-in-one flywheel, will not fit on here. The standoffs are in the way. Let me just make myself big again. The way these standoffs are, I'm out of focus. there's not enough room between the standoffs to fit that other flight controller on there, which is unfortunate. I was hoping would be able to use it on that Atlas, but Atlas has the same problem. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and get a stack for it. It'll be a little 20 by 20 F722 stack. Be this one here. Come on, Flywheel. I've already been to you earlier. So this is the stack I was going to put in here, and these pads were up against the standoffs. So that's not going to work. But I'm going to get, where'd it go? There it is. Come on, wakey, wakey. This is the one that I'm gonna get, 20 by 20 stack. Even has USB-C port on it. So that's what I decided on. Let's see, what else do we have? I still haven't managed to fly with the Thumb Pro W yet. That's still gonna come. I think that pretty much wraps it up for me for tonight. So to recap, the countering CCP drones act baloney got taken out the NDAA, which I'm sure doesn't mean that's not coming. And I'm sure it's still going to come, just not right now. But it'll rear its ugly head again. It just makes you wonder if some senators get some calls from their constituents that said, hey, what's up with that? And they went, hey, what's up with that? And somehow that thing disappears. So in the Senate version of the NDAA, DJI is no longer mentioned in any shape or form. There is some stuff mentioned about UAS systems in general for the Army. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens next on that front. Is it gone for good? Nope, doubt it. But for now, we dodged the bullet. And DJI also makes it no longer required for you to upload your or to synchronize your flight logs with them. So that's been taken out out of the software. So, anyhow, if you haven't done yet, if you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up, please, I would appreciate that. Come on, we're at 8. We can make 10. Please. Pretty please. What? Oh, eat more possum. Rubbing elbows with big dogs. Well, did you tell him that the guy that used to be at Skydio is now, or the guy that's now at Skydio used to be the national security advisor staffer for that Stefanik lady, Congresswoman Stefanik? You know, would have been a good. How about that? I think it was rather interesting how Skydio actually how Skydio actually released a video on YouTube addressing this whole coinkydink that they swear up and down they have nothing to do with. One opportunity missed. Brent, what are we gonna do with you? That's all right. I'm sure this is gonna come up again. Yeah, how about that? Here comes Chuck. We're all in trouble. Chucky, if you haven't heard it yet, apparently the DJI ban is put on hold for now. The Senate version of the NDA no longer includes the countering CCP language. He knows. That's good. So spread the word. Let everybody know. We dodged the bullet this time, but I don't think that thing is going away. I think it's coming back, and we'll be hearing from that again. So yeah, I actually pulled up the text to in the Senate version of the NDAA and did the search. You can't find DJI mentioned in that anymore. Well, you just make sure that you put your mark in the right box on your next election. You know, that's how that works. To ban DJI be their downfall? Who you talking about? Is it DJI's downfall or Stefanik's downfall? I would say it's going to be Stefanik's downfall. We're not. Other countries moving forward? Well, I haven't heard anything about that, but you know, one thing we need to get over here in the US, and there's a lot of guys out here seem to think that without the US, DJI has no leg to stand on. It ain't so. Okay. Um, at Spin Up, it was Kelly Spin Up, not the last one, but the one before that. And I know that's 3 years ago. We actually had the chief test pilot there, whatever he was for DJI on, and he actually told us the US was actually only their third largest market after China and Europe. So we're not, we're not all that important, even though we think we are. We're not. So, um, yeah, Chase, yeah, chief pilot. There you go. You were there too, Michael. You know what I'm talking about. So, Canada supports drones. Well, Canada needs to support drones as open as the country is. They need to support drones to be able to reach every part of it. Speaking of cheaper, we all know it's Amazon Prime Days. And there is one heck of a deal going on for Amazon on the Mini 4K. There's a prime day deal on that. There we go. Mini 4K Fly More combo for $360 or just a regular for $239. I mean, I don't know why anybody would buy Holy Stone. What's the Action 5 Pro anyway, Chuck? I have no earthly idea what that's supposed to be. I'll be interested to find out. And if that is still too expensive, guess who else is offering a mini sub 250 drone with 4K 30 frames per second, which looks awfully similar to DJI for $229. I mean, you wait another day and they'll give you money to take it off their hands. Yeah, it's Spectre. DJI in disguise. There we go. No, it's not Sectra. It's not Spectra. It's Specta. There you go. Third try of charm. Yep. So, yeah, for $229, that's almost a no-brainer. If you have kids in your family, buy one now and hold on to it till Christmas. Still looks like your Mini 2SE, yeah? Well, Mini 2SE is to be had too, but they want a lot more money for that. Here's the Mini 2 SE pricing. $429 or $279. So where the Mini 2SE is 2.7K and the Mini 4K is actually a full 4K. So anyways, yeah. So we've got some good deals going. Spread the word. One more time, if you could hit that thumbs up, please, I would appreciate it. Other than that, I think I've about got everything mentioned I was wanting to mention tonight. Dusty, I'll be talking to you about your quad here in a bit. And other than that, I don't know what else to tell y'all. We'll do it again next Tuesday, same time, same place. And until then, y'all have a good evening, and we'll catch you next week.